apologies to Nick Fuqua and, of course, our good friend Mark Drahan. Mark, you are always in our thoughts, man, and we miss you over here.
Yeah, come on back, brother.
But I would like to introduce my co-host for this week, another good friend of mine, Mark Smith. Mark, how you doing?
Oh, I'm doing pretty good. Billy, thanks for having me on the show.
Yeah, well, while I get all these wires, we are live right now on Twitch right now. We're fixing to go live on YouTube because...
Hi, Twitch.
Because I have to get YouTube up and...
Yes.
Smith. So we do have a lot to talk about. As soon as I can get YouTube underway, we can get that straightened out because there's been a lot of, well, it says live now on there. That's odd.
Right.
Because normally it wouldn't go live without me pushing the button on here. Well, apparently we are live. So my apologies to everyone who is watching on YouTube.
Hello, YouTube.
But like I said, guys and gals, I'm not sure if we're going to take phone calls. I think we'll leave the number up on the screen for now. I believe if it's up there, I can't see because we have a camera blocking the way. And what's up to? We do well, welcome Matthew Levac in the YouTube chat room. Matthew, how are you doing? And as we bring up the Twitch and Tone, well, don't worry about it, Tone, because I don't think we can take calls tonight because we're strictly on the internet only.
Okay, I'll take the phone down then.
Yeah, and can you get another cup of water real quick too?
Where's my coffee, dude?
Oh, I'll bring that too.
Right?
But anyway.
Oh, no.
So,
just a normal guy.
And I don't think we're live on Twitch right now, Jacob, because it says I'm still hosting somebody else. Yes. Yeah, it still says it still says I'm hosting another person that I watch on Twitch. But anyway, for the benefit of people on YouTube, Chauncey, what's up? He says, brother WGS-TV, I knew you'd come. He says that every week. But anyway, let's get to the main topic at hand this week, ladies and gentlemen. One of the main hot button issues this week was the leak of the now infamous sex tape involving Brad Maddox, Paige, and Xavier Woods. Paige acknowledged the leak on her Twitter by saying that pics and videos were released without her consent. Now, if you're expecting to see a scene or two of that tape on this show, you're sadly mistaken.
Not here.
Now, how exactly will this affect them? Well, let's break it down and look at it like this. First, let's start with Brad Maddox. And really, Brad Maddox, there's not going to be any outlash from him, Mark, because he's no longer employed by WWE.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen him there. I haven't seen him on WWE programming in months.
2 years, actually.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's been that long. Yeah, it's been that long since we've seen Brad Maddox on there. But one thing he has done, he's put his Twitter account on private, and I don't blame him.
Yeah.
Because if you left his profile public, you can guarantee he would have been spammed to hell from people over this. So,
of course,
for him to turn his profile private was in fact the sane thing to do. As I do have another chat room comments. Matthew says, "Good, have you been? I haven't been here in a while." And Chancey says, "Brother Mark, I knew you."
Okay.
Chancey's a little bit broken.
Okay, so who is this?
And these are people that are in the YouTube chat room right now that's watching us.
Oh, okay, cool deal.
Yeah, Tone, if you want to go ahead and as a Flash failed to load on Twitch. I don't know what's going on Twitch, guys. I do apologize.
If I stop everything, I can fix it, but it looks like it should be good. Should I stop the whole stream for a second?
Well, let me refresh it and see what it says on here.
Okay.
Because on Twitch.tv, I have an auto host feature on there.
Dude, I'm bad luck.
No, this has happened before. This has happened before. If you guys want to, in the chat room, want to put in your thoughts on the sex tape leak, I'll read your comments out loud. Especially Tone, if you have something to say, go ahead and put it in the chat, man. So, and I'll read it because I know you. If you were able to call in, you would have something to say about it. As we're just trying to get our. I think the Twitch thing is still going. No, it's not. No, it's not. So my apologies to the people on Twitch, but we're going to have to go ahead and go on with the show for now.
Right.
All right, now, to Paige. How will this affect Paige and her career? Let's look at it like this. Okay. Paige has been on shaky ground with WWE for quite some time.
Yeah.
It started with her wellness policy violation or her failure to turn in the proper paperwork for it. Mm-hmm. It continued even further when she showed up in Puerto Rico, I believe, of all places, and proposed to Alberto El Patron, or to WWE fans, Del Rio. Now, will WWE cut ties with the former WWE Divas champion? It's very hard to say at this point in time. Paige never wanted the sex tape to be leaked in the first place, and if all participants were consenting then, I personally believe, and again, this is just what I believe, that Paige and Xavier Woods should not be held accountable for something that they themselves consented to in the privacy of a hotel room. You kind of get what I'm saying there, Mark?
Exactly. And you see, the thing is, it's not them that released this tape. Somebody, what was it? Her phone
It was hacked.
Yeah. So somebody else came in, and that if anything, that's an invasion of privacy, and that, if I'm not mistaken, wouldn't that be grounds for legal actions?
Yes. As I do believe we have another. Oh, Camtroy from YouNow is in here. Camtroy, what's up? I know him from my YouNow streams. Okay. So welcome, Camtroy. We were talking about the whole situation with the sex tape scandal with Paige. Now, why people feel the need to video themselves during the act of intercourse is a concept that I don't think I'll ever grasp, but that's for another place and another time. Now, have I watched the video myself? Hell no. Here's why. As much as I respect Xavier Woods for being the performer and the talent he is, and I really don't give a crap about Brad Maddox, I don't want to see them naked. To me, it's not worth it to see Paige naked if I have to see not one, but two other guys at the same time. Not worth it.
If you've seen one, you've seen them all.
However, if anyone out there wants to stomach seeing two other guys naked just to see Paige naked, then just Google it. But as far as I'm concerned, I'm staying far away from that video.
I'm not going to touch that.
So, if you guys in the chat room have any thoughts on this sex scandal, go ahead and put it in the chat room right now. So, if you want us to read your comments out loud,
yeah, because we'd love to hear from you.
So while we wait for those comments, we do have a couple of more things we definitely need to announce here. We here at Sports Entertainment Tonight and WGS-TV would like to send out our condolences to Jim Ross and his family, as his wife Jan unfortunately died just recently as a result of an accident. According to the reports, she was driving home on a Vespa scooter, and she was struck from behind by an automobile driven by a 17-year-old driver. Unfortunately, Jan was not wearing her helmet and died as a result of catastrophic brain injuries and including multiple skull fractures. So again, our hearts and our thoughts are with Jim Ross at this time, because I know this is going to be like an incredibly traumatic event, and I respect Jim Ross so much, because you've heard it a lot of times when we go to GCW shows about how people like to compare me to Jim Ross, and I take that as the highest form of flattery a commentator can ever get. So whenever something bad happens to him, I kind of feel it the same way that he's feeling it right now.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I was in an accident too. I mean, it wasn't that bad, but still, I mean, you don't, how do you get over something like that? That's got to be tough, man.
Unless someone's actually personally experienced a catastrophic loss like Jim Ross is experiencing right now, I've never experienced a loss like that.
Me neither.
So we really have no idea what Jim Ross is feeling right now. But the only thing we can do is just extend our thoughts and our condolences to him and his family. So at this point in time, I'm being told to check on Twitch again, and we are still not live on Twitch. So again, we're probably just going to be Twitchless this week. So
no more twitching. So
yeah, it's definitely an unfortunate situation. So again, just our thoughts and our prayers, and we definitely want to hear you guys in the chat room. You guys are gonna have to help get the show going, because right now we're just on YouTube. We're not on AOC like we normally are, but that's for situations that we're not going to discuss on here.
It's because of me.
No, it's not. It's not.
Wherever I go, I'm bad luck, guys.
It's not. It's not. Now, according to ProWrestlingSheet.com, WWE has been in talks since January with Sinclair Broadcasting Group about possibly buying Ring of Honor from them. Now, if the buyout does happen, it is really unclear right now as to who will go to WWE and who will be let go. But as far as the weekly TV show goes, Mark, more than likely, it's fathomable to think that their weekly show would be put on the WWE network.
Oh, thank you. Yes. I just want to see the Hardys back in WWE. That's what I want.
And speaking of them, they were the recent contract signing to Ring of Honor and Sinclair Broadcasting as their biggest contract ever. So if WWE buys Ring of Honor out, does that mean that the Hardys go to WWE?
Of course, but under what gimmick? I mean, aren't they in a legal dispute over Impact, TNA, or whatever they're called?
Something to that extent, because they wanted like a certain percentage per appearance, because they,
like royalties.
It's Anthem Sports and Entertainment that wanted a percentage of the royalties, and the Hardys were saying no deal. So that's why they left Impact Wrestling like that.
Impact will take whatever they can get, huh?
Pretty much. So again, guys and gals, you guys right now are going to be our bread and butter in the chat room. I want to hear your reactions, and we will read your reactions right here on the show. If you guys want to call in, area code. Well, you know what? I'll put it in the chat room for you guys right there. If y'all want to call in. And why the text is changing funny colors on here, I have no idea. But that's the phone number right there in the chat room if you want to call in, 337-366-8951 if you guys don't want to chat in the chat room. So let's go on and when the comments come in, guys, we'll read your comments.
Yeah.
So, and speaking of that, WWE is bringing back another pay-per-view.
Uh-oh.
Yep, it was announced at the SmackDown 205 live event, and I'm probably going to butcher this name, but it's Unicasville, Connecticut, that it will bring back the Bad Blood pay-per-view in July.
Wait, PG era WWE,
Yes.
the no juicing thing, wants to do a Bad Blood show?
Yep.
Dude, this is the first time I'm hearing about this.
Yep, it will take
Love
place.
Live.
Yep, it will take place July 9th at the XL Center in Hartford, Connecticut, and will be a Raw branded pay-per-view. Now, all of this is according to PWInsider.com. And for those of you who do remember from the first brand split and with Bad Blood, it was a Raw pay-per-view in 2003 and 2004 before it was dropped soon after that. So how WWE will work this and what will be on the show still remains a mystery, but what is concrete and what is known right now, Mark, that this is going to be a Raw brand show.
Good. If it's Triple H running it, then, it's going to be good.
Yeah, so now normally at this time I would turn the show over to Nick Nede Fuquay, but he is not here this week. So let me go ahead and bring up the Monday Night Raw review I was scheduling to do for WGS-TV solely, but
We're going to do it here.
we're going to do it here because normally that's what Nick does on here. I'm trying to think, what was Monday's date? Was it the 23rd? No.
Today's the 20th.
No, today's the 23rd.
Yeah, there you go.
And
Now, you'll have to forgive me. I was in and out of Raw, so I mean, I
so-
got the gist of it, though. So
all
it'll
right,
be all
so
right.
let me go to date here. It'll be easier that way.
Okay.
Because then, all right, here we go. So anyway,
Awesome.
so let me start right here because I can't really do my traditional opening for a Monday Night Raw review because I save that for YouTube videos.
Okay.
Now, with WrestleMania rapidly approaching, WWE would have to start putting together more matches from the Raw side, as well as develop the angles of some of their other bigger matches for the Raw brand. But for some reason, the bigger story over this past week has been what was going to happen to Mick Foley. Now, no offense to the hardcore legend, but when he's more of the focus of a Monday Night Raw rather than developing your current talent storylines, then to me, Mark, something's not right about that. So let's go ahead and talk about Monday Night Raw. Mick Foley would open up Monday Night Raw this week reading prepared statements from him off index cards and then went into his typical overly forced promo before Stephanie McMahon would come out to fire him. Mick Foley's firing really didn't come as a shock when the reports are out there that Mick Foley is in desperate need of hip replacement surgery. We saw it on last week's Monday Night Raw when Mick Foley came out to the ring, and there was a very noticeable limp to Mick Foley.
Yeah, that's. I had noticed that, and I'd rewatched it a couple of times. I was maybe I missed something, maybe he was involved in something, but no, it was just, and then I looked it up, and yeah, apparently he's doing some kind of surgery, and that's a way to write him off. So
exactly.
I don't think he's going to be involved in WrestleMania though.
Yeah, and I know he wanted to be, but he just couldn't put it off. His health had to come first.
Your health comes first. Take it from me.
But being that WrestleMania is just right around the corner, less than 2 weeks away. Yeah. So I kind of feel bad because I know Mick Foley desperately wanted to be involved in WrestleMania, but now he can't. So now with Sami Zayn's typical face response to Stephanie felt a little bland, but I guess they needed a reason for him to be out there so they can set up the match with him and Samoa Joe. Now, as far as this opening promo goes, it's a typical Monday Night Raw promo that went as expected. I'm going 2.95 out of 5 for that one. And Chauncey says, Mick Foley, hashtag beat up Mick Foley. Chauncey, you're not right about that. You know that? That's not right. That's shame. So that's pretty much my opening score for the opening promo. If you guys want to go ahead and start putting in your scores as I go about them, like with the opening promo, definitely put them in the chat room and I'll read your scores here on the show. But ever since Mick Foley came back, Mark, his promos have always felt just like he forces it.
It's like it doesn't come natural to him anymore.
Exactly, and he used to be such a natural on the microphone.
Oh, I love his old school promos, man. I love going back and watching his old Cactus Jack promos and Mankind promos, especially with The Rock, with the whole Rock and Sock connection. I don't know if you're as big of a fan of The Rock as I am.
I remember him.
Oh yeah, that's all we'll say.
But I think the moment we all figured that Mick Foley kind of lost it when it came to his promos is when he lost his teeth when he was doing one of his promos with Sami Zayn. And people even slowed down and made GIFs of that like crazy. That's when you knew Mick Foley just honestly didn't have it anymore. No. Now, we're not going to disrespect him by saying he sucks. We don't think.
No, definitely.
He definitely has a nostalgia factor to him.
Yes.
But don't have him involved in active storylines.
More behind the scenes, maybe?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Now, first match this week, as I already stated, was Zayn taking on Joe. This match was worked a whole lot better than their first one, but I still think that this was because of the lack of time they had in that last match. But they had a lot of time to work a good match this one, and when you get two great talents, Mark, and you give them enough time to put on a great match, you get just that, a great match.
Yeah, the chemistry is definitely there,
Definitely. Now, one thing I picked up during this match, it was that Joe was cut open around the side of his head and was bleeding during this match. I believe it happened maybe when they went to the outside for the first time. That's when I noticed it. When I noticed it, it was the corner-to-corner flying DDT spot that Joe had blood on the side of his face. So I'm not quite sure what happened that caused it.
I didn't notice it until the very end of that match. Like whenever he had him in that rear neck and choke, that's whenever I noticed.
Yep, which was the finish of the match. I got to say, it was a great opening match for Raw. I loved it. 4 out of 5 from me.
I'll give it 3 out of 5.
Up next, it was Charlotte taking on her former protege, Dana Brooke, and honestly, I believe no one really cared about this match because...
Weak ending.
Yeah, neither woman received a pop from the crowd or even a slight reaction whatsoever. Cut and dry, as Chauncey once again is putting in another comment. Chauncey says, Eric Bischoff returned as Raw General Manager. I think Eric Bischoff and WWE aren't on the best of terms right now.
I don't see that happening. I see CM Punk coming back before that.
Yeah,
oh wait, am I not supposed to mention that name?
I think Eric Bischoff is still really busy with his a production company he has now.
Okay.
So I think that's probably one of the reasons why we're not going to see him back. He's happy doing that. He's producing television shows, and he's making a lot of money doing it too.
Well, naturally, yeah. You're not going to walk away from that.
So yeah, definitely like that. So 3 out of 5 for the Charlotte Dana Brooke match. They kind of made her. I will say this. This was just a match to make Charlotte look good. So Dana Brooks' face turn last week, to me, was kind of made to look like crap.
I remember whenever they did something similar with Alex Riley and The Miz. Whenever The Miz was his tutor or something, and then he turned on him and he went solo, and then he just kind of disappeared.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Then he kind of resurfaced in NXT, was a commentator, and I gotta say, Riley was a pretty good commentator too.
Yes.
But apparently he wanted to get back into the ring, which was kind of a mistake, because his gimmick really wasn't believable.
I mean, he always kind of looked like this typical high school jock kind of gimmick, and
Then he tried to, like, the silent rage of, that was something he was trying to pull off, and he couldn't do it.
No.
Now, if you would have seen it on commentary, I wouldn't have a problem with him, because he definitely had the skills to do it. So if he ever wants to come back as a commentator, please replace Byron Saxton. Please replace Byron Saxton.
Who?
The black guy.
Oh.
Or the guy that thinks he's a black guy. That's all I'm going to say. Let's just say he's the whitest black guy I've ever seen. And that's not being racist either.
I know exactly that. I'm just saying, who?
Now, up next, it was Chris Jericho with his highlight reel, which was centered around exposing Kevin Owens as not being Jericho's best friend, but being a Y2J fanboy. They aired a pic from Owens' youth wearing a Jericho shirt while doing the typical Jericho pose in the picture, and even had a poster of Y2J on his wall.
He was marking out.
Pretty much. Chauncey has another comment. He says, WWE buying Ring of Honor. Yeah, we just talked about that, Chauncey.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just talked about that, and what kind of repercussions or ramifications it would have for a lot of the talent, including the Broken Hardys, who just recently signed to Ring of Honor. So Chauncey right now is really the only guy that's been chatting with us right now. So
come on, guys.
yeah,
really?
come on, light up the chat room like y'all did last week, guys. Now they also released some DMs from the two when Owens signed with WWE on Twitter. The attempt they were trying to do, in my personal opinion, Mark, was to demean the seriousness of Owens' character, which kind of had the appearance of them doing that, wouldn't you think?
Yeah, he made him look like more like a fan than anything else. You know, just somebody trying to like shadow him or something.
Yeah, yeah, and you take a guy who's technically the second Universal Champion, and
do this.
Yeah, it really does. And Chauncey says once again, hashtag beat up Vince. You say that every week, Chauncey. You say that every week. But anyway, back to what we were talking about. It had the appearance of them kind of demeaning the character that was, until Samoa Joe came out to distract Chris Jericho, allowing Owens to jump Jericho from behind. Now, with Owens tearing up the list of Jericho, to me was a nice touch.
I like that.
Yeah, because the list right now is extremely over with the fans. So with Owens tearing it up, it puts even more heat on Owens as a heel and Jericho as a face. I have to say, Mark, it was nicely done.
Yes, I enjoyed that promo. I enjoyed that one.
Yeah. My score is a 3.25 out of 5. We're seeing a lot of things in here we're not supposed to be seeing.
I'm going to give it 4. That was really enjoyable too, man.
Yeah.
You know?
Up next, it was T.J. Perkins taking on the Brian Kendrick, an extremely short match, my personal opinion, as compared to their... Yeah, because it was a very short match. Blinked and you missed it. Yeah. Especially, they've had a lot of great matches in the past. So, but apparently, you know, it goes back to what we were saying earlier about Sami Zayn and Samoa Joe. When you give them the allotted time to work a good match, and I think for Perkins and Kendrick, they basically said you got like less than 5 minutes to go out there and work a match. You can't work a good match in less than 5 minutes.
No,
no,
not at all.
It's not possible.
No, that's an in and out promo, man.
Yeah.
Or like a backstage promo, like to shoot for a upcoming match or pay per view event. But no.
Yeah. So it's really not much we can say on this one. As the finish of the match was Kendrick hitting sliced bread number 2 on Perkins to pick up the win. Cut and dry, 2 out of 5.
Yeah, 2 out of 5 for me. I didn't see it, guys. Sorry.
Yeah, because again, who did see it? Unless they were really focusing in and paying attention to it. Now, up next, it was the no disqualification match with Bayley taking on Nia Jax, with the stipulation being that if Jax were to win, she would be added to the Raw Women's Championship, which is something I figured was going to happen as a creative counter of sorts, Mark, to the SmackDown Women's Championship, with every woman on the SmackDown roster be involved in that match, even though right now we still have no idea as to what that match is going to be.
Cage match? Ladder match?
Don't know. They still haven't made it clear, or they still haven't made it clear as to Chauncey says he likes the hashtag beat up word. I love AJ Styles. Well, we'll talk about that when we get to SmackDown. There, Chauncey. I'm pretty sure you'll have a lot to say. Right now, Chauncey's the only person that's got a lot to say right now in the chat room.
Hey, keep it up.
So anyway, as far as this no disqualification match goes, it was worked as a typical Nia Jax match is worked, with her dominating about 80% of the match. The finish of the match was Nia hitting the Samoa drop on Bayley to pick up the win, as I expected her to do. But I will say this, Mark, I still want a hug from Bayley.
Yeah, me too.
I'm
waiting for my hug.
Yeah, so when are we going to get our hugs, Bayley? We're waiting. Maybe next year at WrestleMania. They're going to be in New Orleans next year. You know that, right?
I'm going.
So yeah, me too.
All right.
So maybe next year. You never know. But then again, if Asuka's there on the main roster, that might supersede that.
We're gonna fight. We're gonna fight over that one.
But anyway, 3 out of 5, I'm gonna give that match.
I'm gonna give that one 3 out of 5.
Now, earlier in the evening, WWE would do a live via satellite interview with a medical official talking about Rollins' rehab and if he will be cleared in time for WrestleMania, which he responded with no. So just how WWE is going to work around this so that to still actually go on with the match?
Unsanctioned.
Unsanctioned, correct. Because during Triple H's interview segment in the ring, he would announce that he would draw up a hold harmless agreement, which is something WWE's done many times in the past. And I think the first instance WWE ever did that was for the first feud for Triple H and Shawn Michaels in 2002, when they were having the street fight. I believe it was
that was for SummerSlam, right?
Yes, for SummerSlam.
Okay, yeah. So that was an unsanctioned.
Yeah, that was an unsanctioned match.
That was a good one.
Because WWE didn't want to be the power. This is a wrestling show, Chauncey.
What is it?
Like the Power Rangers movie on Friday.
And?
Yeah,
Who cares?
Yeah, we're talking wrestling here.
Yeah.
So, again, like we've already stated, WWE has done this in the past, which basically means if Rollins gets hurt at WrestleMania, he can't sue them. So, look for him to accept it next week. So, again, these are expected promos, but they're pulling them off nicely. I have to go 3 out of 5.
I'm going 4.
Now, up next, it was the 2-on-4 handicap match with Cesaro and Sheamus taking on the team of the Raw Tag Team Champions, Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson, and Enzo Amore and Big Cass. How many times... I can kind of sense some issues you have with that one. What's going on with that?
I'm not a fan of Enzo and Big Cass.
Really?
No.
Like, what is it about them that you don't like?
Where do I... From everything. Everything. It's... I mean, I see them as heels. I think they would do better as heels because of their attitude, their obnoxiousness, and their annoyingness. I could see them better off as heels. I don't see them going over as faces.
Yeah, but the fact that they're so over on the crowd, I mean, it stems from what they did in NXT, and it just worked so well for them. And then when they made the transition to the main roster, they were able to bring that excitedness, that I got to say, Enzo is still good on the mic.
Yeah,
you just can't understand what he's saying.
No. Big Cass on the mic
needs help. He's good in the ring, but he needs help on the mic.
And would somebody please teach them how to spell soft? Please. It's S-O-F-T.
Well, if you're from Brooklyn, they say it a different way. But anyway, now if Cesaro and Sheamus were to lose this handicap match, then they would have been out of the Raw Tag Team Championship match at WrestleMania. Now, the handicap aspect of this match never happened, as Gallows and Anderson went at it with Enzo and Cass, which worked to the advantage of Cesaro and Sheamus, as the finish was Sheamus hitting the bro kick on Anderson to pick up the win. Not surprising when you think about it, when you put a face team and a heel team together on one team.
Right.
So that's kind of what you're going to get. If you thought they were going to work together, no. You don't understand the wrestling industry like we do.
I became a fan of wrestling in 1993, and I started working matches. What was it? Late 2010, early 2011. So
yeah.
So
So
it's not gonna work.
Anyway, my score. I'm gonna go 3 out of 5 on this one because I kind of expected it to be like that. With less than 2 weeks to go until WrestleMania, there's really no real reason to change any part of the card.
No. I mean, I can see the adding Nia Jax to become a fatal 4-way for the women's title, which I liked.
Yeah.
It wouldn't have made sense for Bayley to go over on her. I mean,
Yeah.
Nia Jax is like 5 times her size.
Yeah, it wouldn't have been believable.
No.
But it sure as hell was believable when Asuka kicked the crap out of her.
Yeah, but that's Asuka, so
Yeah.
no sins on that.
Yeah. Up next, it was Austin Aries taking on Tony Nese, and for what it was a good match. Both Aries and Nese looked good, so I have nothing bad to say about them.
5 out of 5.
Yep. The finish of the match was Aries. Well, I do have one thing to say about it. They renamed the Roaring Elbow into the Discus 5 arm, which was renamed by Corey Graves to pick up the win. And what contributes to the great score of this was the aftermatch promo with Neville and Austin Aries. And I loved Aries and his wit during the promo.
Yes.
Still playing it up as if he was a commentator and did it beautifully. I loved it. 4.5 out of 5 with this one. Now, up next was the main event. Roman Reigns taking on Braun Strowman. Now, was anyone really shocked about The Undertaker's appearance on Monday Night Raw? I wasn't.
No.
So, in fact, it was expected more than anything, but The Undertaker is cheered for just about anything he does nowadays. I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but
No,
it's like the nostalgia factor we were talking about with Mick Foley. He has that amazing nostalgia factor, and not only that, but the respect of the wrestling fans.
Especially whenever it's this time of year, it's WrestleMania season. Whenever you think of WrestleMania, the first thing that comes to mind is Undertaker.
So, but one could speculate that the way they're working this angle with Roman Reigns and The Undertaker so that they could finally turn Reigns heel. The possibility is there. Think about it, how he's been working his promos as of late, saying that he's going to retire The Undertaker. He was going to take over the yard.
Yeah, it's like this is his yard now. And,
Yes.
I mean, he's been doing heel promos for a while now. I mean,
Yes.
talking about being the guy. I was considering him a heel at that point in time.
So I think right now at WrestleMania would be the perfect time for them to pull the trigger and do the full heel turn at WrestleMania. But the WrestleMania match, to me, is a bit in question, and I'll tell you why. It all stems on what happened on Monday Night Raw this week. Undertaker appeared in the ring, chokeslammed Braun Strowman, and would then eat a spear from Roman Reigns, which the crowd Monday night responded with a chorus of boos. But here's the reason why I still believe that this match isn't set in stone. It could be a triple threat match. I think Strowman is going to be involved in this match in some form or some fashion. And here's one of the reasons why. Why else would he chokeslam Strowman first? Why not attack his opponent from WrestleMania, Roman Reigns?
I didn't think about that. I really didn't think about that. That's awesome.
Yeah, it kind of makes you think that WWE could put together a triple threat. And not only that, but think back to the week before when Undertaker made his return to Monday Night Raw. Who did he have a face-off with first? Braun Strowman.
Yeah.
And Strowman backed off from him.
Mm-hmm. Well, I thought he was just doing like this, like a face thing or something. Like, he's just letting.
I think the crowd. I think it was because of the fact that the crowd hate Roman Reigns that much that they'll cheer for anybody that's going against him right now.
Even James Ellsworth.
Oh, I call him Ellsworthless. But I still believe. But back to the Undertaker and Reigns thing, we saw Undertaker chokeslam Braun Strowman. It's very feasible that on next week's Monday Night Raw, we could see Strowman possibly answer Undertaker's chokeslam in some form or some fashion, whether if Undertaker is physically there or not, which I think he could be possibly being there, with it being the last Monday Night Raw leading until WrestleMania.
Of course.
So it's really hard to say. So, but if we do see anything from that, then to me it would be a clear indicator that it's going to be a triple threat match.
I think I would prefer to see that, especially with Braun Strowman and Roman Reigns with their little storyline that's going on, and then you have Undertaker going at it with Reigns for the Royal Rumble elimination,
and then Strowman angry at the Undertaker for what he did,
slamming him. Yeah, that's good. I like that.
So that's definitely something to think about, ladies and gentlemen. You guys can. And Chauncey says, why Big Cass and Enzo did not help the club like Edge and Christian helping out the Hardys in 1990. Edge and Christian didn't help out the Hardys in 1992.
Well, is that some indies stuff or something?
No, he's
That
thinking.
Omega
No,
stuff?
no, I think he's possibly thinking about their Attitude Era run, because Edge and Christian were not in the WWE in 1992.
No,
I
that was
hate-
mid to late 90s.
Yeah, so I hate to break it to you, Chauncey, but you got your dates wrong. So,
Could
but,
be a typo.
yeah, but anyway, as far as scores go for Raw this week, it's going to get a 3.5 out of 5, and I think Chauncey already answered. Not bad in 1999, the Hardys and Edge and Christian.
Anything with
I think
Edge and
Chauncey was
Hardy-
trying to test us.
Maybe.
Chauncey, let me just tell you this: I have been watching WWE since 1986.
I was born in 1986, Billy.
Yeah, so you're gonna have to get up pretty early in the morning if you want to try to test me when it comes to that. So, but anyway, as far as Monday Night Raw goes, 3.5 out of 5. I'm gonna give best match of the night to Sami Zayn taking on Samoa Joe, with worst segment of the night going to Foley's forced overselling promo about the index cards. What did you think about Monday Night Raw?
I would have to give it probably a 3.5. Best match, Zayn and Samoa Joe. Worst segment, now that I know about that, would be, what was it, the short match? Brian Kendrick and TJ Perkins.
Yep.
I'd have to say that would probably be the worst because, something quick, Spot Monkeys, no.
So now, how would SmackDown do in fair to Monday Night Raw? Now, the whole thing about SmackDown this week was centered around AJ Styles' attack of Shane McMahon last week, which we all know they were going to do. They're going to set up a match between them at WrestleMania.
Of course.
Now, will they have any type of a stipulation in the match? It's very hard to say.
You gotta watch and find out.
Yeah, but one could think with everything that's been transpiring outside of the ring, we'll talk about what that happened at the end of when we get to the SmackDown. But last week with the fight backstage, a lot of people have been speculating about possibly like a Falls Count Anywhere match or maybe a street fight between the two. But here's my thing. Last year, Shane McMahon jumped off the Hell in the Cell to try to get on The Undertaker. What is he going to jump off on this year's WrestleMania?
Is there anything left for him to jump off? Is there anything that nobody has ever jumped off of with, between the Hardys and Shane McMahon?
I don't know. I don't know.
He could jump off the WWE headquarters if he's crazy enough.
Yeah, but they're in Orlando for WrestleMania this year, so...
Coast to coast, he can fly. He can make it. He'll make the trip.
So,
He's a McMahon. He can do it.
So, AJ Styles would just be out in the ring. He said he was proud of his actions last week. In fact, he was going to do it again. So the majority of SmackDown Live this week for AJ Styles, he was in the parking lot waiting for Shane McMahon. Now, the Tag Team Championship, the SmackDown Tag Team Championship were on the line in the opening match as American Alpha were defending against the Usos. I got to say, it's good to see good tag team wrestling again on WWE. And you got just that with American Alpha and the Usos, a great tag team match right there, Mark.
Didn't they get a "This is awesome" chant?
Yes.
That's why I'm gonna say ahead of time that SmackDown was the superior show this week, just for the simple fact of that match.
And there are a lot of other things too that really made me laugh, but we'll get to that.
Yeah, we got.
But
time.
for them to have a tag team title change so soon for WrestleMania, I don't know. Maybe they could have. Maybe they're doing it this way. For those of you who don't know, one of the Usos hit a super kick on Jason Jordan, and they picked up the win. So now the Usos are your new SmackDown Tag Team Champions. Could it be possibly that they dropped the titles to the Usos, so that way they could set up an angle between the Usos and American Alpha for the tag team titles at WrestleMania? For the SmackDown brand, of course.
Yeah. Well, would it be like a rematch?
Yeah, well, they
with
contractually.
stipulations, or
Well, as far as I know, from what we know of wrestling history, contractually they're going to be they're obligated a rematch, and they could say that they want their rematch at WrestleMania.
or they could have waited to drop the belts at Mania because
Yeah.
you win a belt at WrestleMania. That's high spot.
Yeah,
That's high spot.
and one thing everybody remembers from WrestleMania was with Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns was Seth Rollins cashing in Money in the Bank and winning the WWE World Heavyweight title.
Dude, that was awesome.
Now, one of the things that really made me laugh was the parody of Total Bellas by
Oh, I
Miz.
love that.
Oh,
I
that was-
love that. I forgot about that. Thank you. Thank you. Awesome.
First off, I gotta
Great.
say, Maurice looked really, really good in Nikki Bella's gear.
Yeah.
But
Easy.
her
Easy,
her
big
take
fella.
of Bree with the Bree, oh man, I was like,
Billy.
and then Miz has John Cena. you just broke John Cena house rule number 22. Keep your feet off of the table.
And how many ring puns are they gonna make? That's awesome. Whoever's
loved
writing
it.
that, whoever is writing that, keep on doing what you are doing, please.
And people don't give Miz and Maurice enough credit for what they do creatively. They pulled off that parody beautifully. I thought it was entertaining, it was hilarious, and it played up to the angle of Miz and Maurice versus John Cena and Nikki Bella coming up at WrestleMania. But I gotta say, I loved it. It was hilarious.
Yes,
It was
yes.
entertaining, and that's one of the things I would like them to do on Monday Night Raw is that kind of entertaining, hilarious promos. Because Miz and Maurice did a wonderful job on that parody. There's no doubt about that. But of course, the hardcore haters out there saying, "Oh yeah, Miz sucks." You don't understand. Again, you don't understand the industry like we do. We're looking at it from an objective standpoint, from a creative standpoint.
Yeah.
And they did it great. I loved every bit about it. Miz is awesome.
Yes.
He is what he says he is. He is awesome. And that parody was indeed that awesome. I loved it. 5 out of 5.
5 out of 5. Can you go higher than 5 out of 5?
No.
Can I break that barrier?
Well, you could if you wanted to.
Hey, 10 out of 10, man.
All right. Up next, it was Baron Corbin and Randy Orton. I got to say, for the first time seeing these two work together, they showed some really good stuff. And Baron Corbin has been improving on his promos as of late. He's been starting to do some really good stuff with Dean Ambrose. So I thought it was really good. Now, Dean Ambrose's appearance, again, was a little bit expected, but with Ambrose, everything he does is over the top. He came out on a forklift.
Yeah.
If you think about it, a forklift is what crushed.
Took him out for, what was it, 2 weeks?
2 weeks.
2 weeks, yes.
So now, will they add a stipulation to their match for the Intercontinental Championship? It's still yet to be determined. But
It's
again,
gonna have something to do with the forklift.
or the fact that it took place. Again, we're just making a bunch of speculations here, ladies and gentlemen. We really don't know for sure what they're going to be doing, but we're just basing everything that we're saying right now just on pure speculation from what we've seen in the past and what they had. And Chauncey wants us to know that he watched his first wrestling show. It was WCW 1995. His birthday is July the 3rd, 1992. So you were 3 years old?
Wow.
You were 3 years old when you watched your first wrestling show. I can't even remember what I did when I was 3 years old. But that was like 33 years ago for me. But anyway, back to SmackDown Live. As far as Corbin and Randy Orton goes, it was a good match. The finish was Orton hitting the RKO on Baron Corbin to pick up the win. I don't think it diminishes Baron Corbin in the slightest.
No.
Because he's
Absolutely not.
really built up. He's really been doing good. And I got to say, I'm looking forward to what they do with Corbin and Ambrose for the Intercontinental title at WrestleMania.
I see the title changing. I
could
see
be.
Baron Corbin walking away with the Intercontinental title.
Yep, and he's putting in the work. He's got good in-ring ability, and his mic skills are improving.
Yeah. And that's not to take away from Dean Ambrose either.
Yeah.
You know, but I honestly, I see Baron Corbin going over in that one.
Yeah. Up next, it was John Cena and Fandango. First off,
I walked out. I walked out of the room, so I don't know what happened. And I did not go on WWE's YouTube to look at the match, and yeah, it's there, but I didn't look. So, yeah.
you're going to be thankful you didn't.
Okay.
Because apparently Maurice wasn't the only one on SmackDown Live this week to be wearing Nikki Bella gear.
Wait, what?
Apparently, Tyler Breeze thought it would be funny to dress up as Nikki Bella and renamed himself Breezy Bella. I was sitting there, I was like, no! The Bella parody with Miz and Maurice was good enough.
You're messing with me, right?
I am not messing with you. In fact, I might be able to bring it up here on Google right now if I can. Tyler Breeze as Breezy Bella. And here we go. I'm going to go to images. And yep, that's pretty much it right there.
Oh God. No. No.
First off, when did Fandango become a captain of the Love Boat? Kind of get what I'm saying?
Yeah, with the hat and the whole fashion police.
Yeah,
thing,
but yeah, that's what Tyler Breeze did. I really don't know what else
Nope.
to say beyond that.
That's a thumbs down on my part, all the way thumbs down. No, not cool.
Yeah, but apparently they thought it would be funny. Miz and Maurice were funny.
Yeah.
Breeze as Breezy Bella was cringy. Chauncey as well, it's not technically spoilers, Chauncey, since Impact Wrestling is already over, but apparently Karen Jarrett has returned to Impact Wrestling as a babyface. I'm gonna have to check out Impact Wrestling when I get a chance.
As a babyface?
As a babyface, according to Chancey. This is according to Chancey in the chat room. But as far as this match goes, again, this just, first off, Nikki Bella kicking Breezy Bella's butt.
Really?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Basically, he took the TKO and the STF from Nikki Bella.
Wait, Nikki Bella lifted Tyler Breeze up?
Yes. Yes.
Awesome.
Yeah, so basically it was a combination of Cena locking the STF on Fandango and Nikki Bella having the STF on Breezy Bella. They both tapped out, so John Cena is your winner. But then after that, they showed the conclusion of the Total Bellas parody, which was absolutely hilarious. Now, what Miz and Maurice was doing, like I said, was funny. Breezy Bella was cringy.
Yeah.
So
I just saw a picture, and you can't unsee that.
Up next, it was Becky Lynch and Carmella. Now, in this match, it was all about promoting the SmackDown Women's Championship match with every woman being involved. So, of course, they were going to have a lot of the other women being involved, and that's exactly what happened. All of the women started coming out, minus Naomi, because right now, currently, there are only 5 women on the SmackDown roster. But if somebody loses a certain championship at NXT TakeOver Orlando, there is the rumor mill going around that she could be called up to the main roster.
Are we talking about our favorite? Please.
It could happen.
Make this happen.
Because I will say this. I love Asuka, but I'm also a big fan of Ember Moon. In fact, I believe Ember Moon worked a match here in Louisiana around 2008 as Athena. I met her one time.
I think she did come to Louisiana even whenever I was with GCW. I think you have a video of that.
Yeah, Athena. I know Athena wrestled someone named Xenia, and that's like the most watched video on my YouTube channel right now, with over 10,000 views.
Awesome.
Yeah, so I will say this: as much as I love Asuka, but I think it's time for her to be called up to the main roster, and
Yes.
in order for them to do that, they have to have her experience her first loss and drop the title to Ember Moon, who's really ready to skyrocket and take the NXT Women's Division to the next level.
Awesome.
So, but anyway, as far as the SmackDown Women's Championship is concerned, they did all of this just to make a Bliss look good because she is the one who actually came out on top of everyone. That sounds weird saying it like that, but that's basically what happened. And Alexa Bliss looked good; she looked strong. Well, everybody else just lay flat on their backs. Now, there's no word as to if Naomi is going to make a return at WrestleMania. It all depends on the seriousness of her knee injury that she suffered back in Elimination Chamber when she won the title. There's no word on that yet. So the possibility of Naomi being there also lies there, but we really don't know for sure. It all depends on if she can rehab her knee and get back to 100% in time for WrestleMania, because she even said it in a promo that her dream was to go into Orlando, her hometown, as the SmackDown Women's Champion, and she was really proud of that, and that dream just basically got taken away from her because of that injury. And I kind of called it the Daniel Bryan syndrome. Because you think about the same thing happened to Daniel Bryan when he won the WWE World Heavyweight Championship, and then the next time when he won the Intercontinental Championship. Both times he had to surrender because of injury.
Those legit injuries, that's a career killer, man. I mean, sometimes it's good for work, but, you know, once again, you know, it was taken away from me with the independent scene.
Yeah, I remember that.
You know, I still feel bad about that.
Yeah, I know, because you were given the chance to run with the title, and then your body just said no.
Yeah, well.
But anyway, the finale of SmackDown Live was basically the build with AJ Styles and Shane McMahon, and of course Shane McMahon wanted to cap it off with the elbow, the flying elbow off the ropes into the table. But was I the only one who noticed that
He missed?
Yeah, he was off by a mile.
Yeah.
No matter what angle you showed it at, he was off by a mile from that.
See, here's AJ Styles, and he lands right here.
But
way to work it.
Yeah, and Styles still sold it like a champ. I'll give it to him.
Oh yeah.
You know, he has that ability. So again, it still begs the question as to whether or not they're going to have a stipulation for the Shane McMahon AJ Styles match. You know, I guess maybe we'll find out next week on SmackDown Live. Maybe if they'll do something like that. It is the final SmackDown until WrestleMania.
Yeah, final Raw and SmackDown. So,
Yep.
you know.
Now, overall score on SmackDown this week, I'm going to give it a little bit of a better score than Monday Night Raw because of the entertainment value and the hilarity with the total Bella parody. I'm going to go 4 out of 5 on this one.
Ooh. I'm going to have to give it 3.5 out of 5. You know, I'm going to agree with you on the entertainment value, which once again was very, very hilarious. Keep on doing that. Whoever's writing that, keep it up.
So that's pretty much going to be it for this week's show, guys and gals. We do apologize for the lack of people being here. Like I said, normally Nick Nade Fukwe is here, but he's caught up in traffic.
And I was really looking forward to meeting him. I've never met him.
Well, maybe next week, because next week's going to be our special WrestleMania show right here on Sports Entertainment Tonight. We're going to break down and talk about every WrestleMania match coming up coming up Sunday, April the 1st. I believe that's the date, correct? Let me double check that.
I believe so.
Wait,
yeah. Wait, no, April 1st. There's a wrestling show in Oakdale. There's an independent.
No, Sunday, April 2nd.
Yeah, because the 1st is that Saturday.
Yeah.
There's an independent wrestling show in Oakdale, Louisiana.
Yeah. So my apologies, but it's going to be April 2nd. So on next week's show, it's going to be a special WrestleMania edition of Sports Entertainment Tonight. We're going to solely talk about sports WrestleMania. We're going to break down, like I said, every match at WrestleMania, give our thoughts, give our predictions. If you guys want to call in, hopefully next week we'll be on the air with AOC as well, and Twitch, because we had some technical difficulties for Twitch tonight. We do apologize.
I still say I'm bad luck.
I want to thank everybody who was in the chat room this week, and that is Chauncey Bullock, Cam Troy, Matthew Levesque, that guy Tone, and the Lone Wolf. He's a friend of mine.
I've seen him in the comments before because whenever I'm not here, I'm usually leaving comments in the YouTube chat section. So, yeah, I've seen his name come up a few times.
If you guys ever want to check out my good friend Mark on Twitter, you guys look at the bottom of your screen right there. That's the handle. He's at MarkyMark86. If you guys are watching this live or watching this on archive on YouTube, if you guys want to put in your comments, be sure you put them in the comment section below. If you guys like this video, be sure you slam that like button like a champ. And if you guys want to check out more of Sports Entertainment Tonight, along with everything I do here on WGS TV, including our awesome gameplays every day with the WGS Arcade, you know the 2 ways you got to do it. You got to leg drop that subscribe button and hit that bell icon to turn on notifications so that way you never miss out on another video right here on my channel. So we're very special thanks to my guest, Mark Smith, this week. I am your friendly neighborhood wrestling gamer, and we'll see you next week right here on Sports Entertainment Tonight. Bye, guys!
Peace.